I got a question. When you do the final cut of this, are you gonna like add and subtract things, or you just
Nah, it's running live now, but on the podcast, yeah, I can do that. I can like cut off this run on talking we're doing here at the beginning, but usually things it's
yeah?
the middle and end. In the middle, I don't really mess with that unless you cough or whatever else. If there's like a good lag of time, I can fix that. But cough, sneeze, or whatever else, stutter, I can fix that somewhat. But for the most part, um, like it is what it is, what we got. But this part right here, because it's live, I press the live button and you ask that question. I'll cut that off. I'll probably keep it on the YouTube just so people can like feel us live and stuff like that.
Can
Anyway,
you see my tag? My tag looks backwards. Is that just me?
no, it's just you. Okay,
Okay.
you see that diamond over like right by it says lower third on this lower third on that thing's on that side over there, like where you
Hmm.
created it. You see a diamond
Yeah.
with an arrow on it. You can flip it
Yeah.
for yourself. So
Okay. Okay.
for yourself, it looks
All
right.
right. All right. I see it now.
That's what I got.
Okay. That's what's up. But oh, I got my. Let me change that.
That mess looks sick too, man. Not gonna lie. But all right, so here we have hashtag Black Oscars found on Afrosapio Podcast Network, and here we have a team of four black nerds. First one is oh introduce yourselves,
Who's first?
Okami.
I am Okami. Hello, everyone.
All right. And I go by J Rob. Hello. Everybody.
Of course, everybody knows me as Johnny Silvercloud, the soul brother, and I'm one of a kind. The vicious. Normally, I'm the vicious abolitionist. Now, I am the photographer, movie buff, fighting game, video gamer, Destiny player, PlayStation owner, Marvel Comics fan guy. That's me. So, for those who are used to the serious nature of Afro Sapiophile Podcast Network, this podcast here is more so centered on entertainment. We had a pilot episode, so to speak, back when we did fighting games, back when we were with another network system. So here you have us, hashtag Black Oscars, and today we're going to discuss Luke Cage. And Luke Cage is a very exciting. 2016 is a very exciting year for fans of Luke Cage, man. I mean, because he has a new show here. And with that being said, we're going to discuss a lot on the show. We're going to discuss what we like about the show or dislike, or without we're going to duck and dodge spoilers, of course. We're going to talk about black heroes, significance, whatnot. The white response, Luke Cage, black women and the actor's wife, and the future to come. So, with that being said, let's start with three ups and three downs. What everybody like about or dislike about the Luke Cage show? Jerome, no, Gary, you go first. Jerome, you go last.
Okay. Three ups. One of the ups is the soundtrack is amazing. The soundtrack is awesome, and it really it's apologetically hip hop, but at the same time, anybody can listen to it. It's a show soundtrack. It's like if you're listening to watching the show and they're playing, a lot of times they play classical music or something like that, or levels of rock music, and it gets you into the mood of the show, the tone, and they use the beats and the hip hop beats and stuff like that. They match the tone of what's going on in the show, and it's done perfectly and amazingly. Um, as a comic book aficionado, like I was never a hardcore Luke Cage reader, but I always respected him, and I got into it, and I read everything I could on. I had an uncle who collected, and I would when I would go over his house, I would just make a beeline straight for it where he kept his comic books. And that's how I pretty much educated myself. I'm an X-Men guy mostly as far as Marvel. I'm not a Marvel or DC person, like hardcore one way. I've always been both. But as far as my Marvel reading, it's been Batman and whatever on DC, but it's been Marvel. For Marvel, it's been X-Men. And I read a lot of Luke Cage though, and they do a pretty good job of like, pulling Luke Cage into 2016. It feels, for him to come from to first make his appearance in Jessica Jones and then to kind of transition to his own show. It's seamless. It's natural. And it feels right. It doesn't feel forced or anything. Like each show had its own tone, and even that is done well. So that's pretty much. And the dialogue. It's like it's the same type of dialogue you would see. I mean, people talk anyway. They drop N-bombs and stuff like that. But at the same time, it's not like a black show. It's like black show, but it's like white people should be able to enjoy it too. Spanish people should be able to enjoy it too. Especially if you live in those areas, you should be able to definitely enjoy it. Or you have urban friends or whatever. But I think anybody should be able to. And if you're a comic book fan, you should just enjoy it hands down anyway.
Okay. I'll start on mine. Hold up. You have any downs?
As far as not really, no.
All right.
To be perfectly honest with you.
I'll start on mine. We're gonna have J. Rob go last because he's the Luke Cage. He's the Luke Cage expert for us on one stage. So here's mine. One up will be the sound score. The sound score goes back to black exploitation film genre and stuff like that. And the last time we've seen something this beautiful, at least for me, was the old Black Dynamite cartoon that starred Michael Jai White and a few other black actors and whatnot. And it was really beautiful. But the difference between Black Dynamite, the cartoon, and Luke Cage, the show, is that Black Dynamite, the cartoon, they dug back to pre-existing beats and tunes and stuff from that era, while Luke Cage with the sound score, they listed in the likes of RZA, of Wu-Tang Clan, and I might be saying their name wrong, but Adrian Lunge, or Adrian Lounge, whatever they're called, Adrian Young, they're this group of beat makers who make a lot of some old school blaxploitation sounding stuff, and I actually have a ton of their instrumentals that are also featured on the show. And as a matter of fact, I used to feature a lot of their stuff on my own show on the Soul Brother Number One of a Kind. So I'm very excited that these guys got picked up for a very much near mainstream thing. So sound scores one. Number two would be the environment is a living environment. And what I mean by that is that sometimes, the environment of a movie is just there. Like, say, Rocky he's from Philly, in Philly, the end. And we don't really feel Philly. But when you see the movie Creed, you feel Philly. You feel, the environment becomes living, breathing, and stuff like that. And I love that. It feels like I'm visiting Harlem when he's walking down the street. When we're walking down the street with Luke Cage, we're visiting Harlem with him. It is not the same thing as how some movies and some TV shows go, where they're from here, but you don't really feel it. Like I think of the Cosby Show. Where the Cosby Show supposed to be from? New Jersey or New York or something like that.
I think that was Philly too.
Yeah, but it doesn't feel like Philly. That's just the environment, whatever, The Wire was really good with that. So you have elements of The Wire in regards to the living environment that Luke Cage has. Number three would be the character action. I like the fact that Luke Cage actually just, for a person with superhuman strength, you would think that, like, what does he do as a crime fighter, so to speak? What he does is practically cherry taps people. And cherry tapping is this concept that we as video gamers know of when you use like the weakest move in the move list to incapacitate or knock out a character. As a matter of fact, Jerome probably remember this one. back when they had the old Street Fighter Alpha series, you hit somebody with the weak, you finish somebody off the weakest punch or kick, you see like a little bit of like a little cherry icon on the side over there from the victory icon. But Luke Cage, he actually cherry taps people. He would just walk up and just like pluck them in the head, just pop them, and they just fall down. It's really funny because he does not really have to exert himself too much to get his point across. I really do like that level of detail. He's never really going full strength. One of the downs I have would be, without really engaging in spoilerisms, there's a character that is missing in one portion of the a villain that's missing in one portion of the TV show, and this villain was very much, like Lex Luthor or so, but he was able to answer the problem that Superman and Lex Luthor has. How does Lex Luthor hurt Superman? Well, this villain actually does a really good job of that. And it's just like on a TV show, and it's deeply unfortunate that character was not used more. That's the only down I have. So, J-Rob, you take it. 3 ups, 3 downs.
Okay. Well, as you guys have mentioned, that soundtrack, I must say, is very amazing. I mean, the mood, the things that were going on in the plot and the mood that it fit, especially when he had his altercation, in prison or whatnot. You can feel the downturn. Like it clutched my heart seeing him get what happened to him during that scene, and it was like the tone of it went completely down. And I must say, they really expertly composed this soundtrack. I mean, from the opening, like that funky beat in the opening when the show starts. It's like, dang, man, this is different from any Marvel TV show that they ever had. I mean,
yes,
it fits the tone perfect. And I'm going to focus on the villains. They did a very beautiful job of making Luke Cage's villains a valid threat to Harlem, to the streets of Harlem. I mean, in the comic books back in the 70s, when they made Luke Cage, his villains didn't really contrast him too well. They were kind of funky, they were a little wacky, you know what I mean? It's like they didn't take it real too seriously as far as on the villain aspect of everything. I don't know why. It's like you look at Doctor Doom, you look at Red Skull, you look at even
Magneto and
Loki, something like that, right?
Right.
These are all major villains to these superheroes. Dr. Octopus, to Spider-Man. But Luke Cage didn't have that. A lot of his villains were like cookie cutter, and they came one after another. Because I remember reading this, and I'm like, wow, this is, But in 2016, they really did a great job in making these villains a contrast to Luke Cage. And I am impressed by that.
Before you continue, I think that no, you go ahead. Continue. I'll get back to it.
And actors, you got to give it up to what's his name? I'm gonna say his name right. Cotton Mashallah Ali.
Oh, he was great.
Oh my God, where did he come from?
Well, I saw him. He used to be in what's the other Netflix show with Kevin Spacey? He played a key role in that. House of Cards.
You know what he reminds?
I think he left House of Cards to do this show.
You know what he reminds me of? He reminds me of an American. As far as actor goes, he reminds me of an American Idris Elba. He reminds me of Stringer. Specifically, his character reminds me of Stringer Bell. If you put Stringer Bell in Luke Cage, that's this guy right here. And for those who don't know The Wire, you're just going to have to watch the show. Believe me. You have that's all you got, Jay? Any downs?
The down. Nah, I mean, I can't really think of any downs. This is a beautiful show. I mean, you guys, if you haven't seen Luke Cage yet and you're black, man, you're doing yourself a disservice.
Yeah. And if you like comic books and that superhero stuff in general, black or not, you should watch it. It's just good
Right.
stuff.
All right.
Yeah.
Back to a point that J. Rob made. J. Rob said something about how back in the day they didn't really know how to do the villains for Luke Cage, and I think that when it comes to comic books do a really poor job of doing the street villains for the street heroes. Like, say, for example, Daredevil. The villains for Daredevil weren't really all that. All you know is Kingpin. That's all you know. As a matter of fact, Kingpin is also, you know him as, if you know Luke Cage, Kingpin is also one of the main villains for Luke Cage as well. So all you know is Luke Cage. I mean, all you know is Kingpin. You don't know all these other secondary and tertiary characters of Daredevil. And the reason being is that back then they didn't know how to do the street villains, because I believe back in that time, those who were writing the script and drawing comics back then, they're not from the street like that. So now, since you have these TV shows, and we have TV shows that have shown the way, i.e., it's going to be brought up a whole lot. I'm sorry, The Wire. You have these TV shows that show folks how to do street villains and stuff like that. So, since we live in a post The Wire era, you have these shows like Jessica Jones, which I've never seen yet, Daredevil, who does a really great job, and now Luke Cage, and now all of a sudden Marvel's doing a fantastic job of showing out these street villains, because let's face it, the villains that Daredevil faces and Luke Cage faces are not like Loki. They're not Loki, Magneto, Apocalypse level characters. They're not causing world domination, or world destruction. They're not doing that. So these neighborhood or hood villains, man, it feels so good that they're finally giving these folks mad love and showing them correctly. I love it.
Yes.
Yeah. So what's your take on that, Jerome? You think I'm fair on that assessment there?
That was a very fair assessment. They're doing a better job displaying street level villains that are actual threats than they did back then.
Yeah, I would give a big shout out on the fact that this show is not whitewashed. That is one of my like invisible likes. You know, it's very possible to just lose Luke Cage and the whole. Matter of fact, we'll get into that later. Let's talk about Black hero significance, man. Luke Cage is not the first Black superhero. He's as far as Marvel Comics is concerned, he's a Black superhero. First one to have his own comic, who was not exactly attached to any other characters and stuff. His relationship with Daredevil and Moon Knight and Iron Fist, they happen secondary, tertiary. They're not the main reason why he exists. One of my favorite superheroes, probably the favorite superhero of Johnny, is War Machine. War Machine is known of the Iron Man. He's from the Iron Man his social circles, comic book social circles, so to speak. And he's really awesome and amazing, but he's attached to Iron Man. Even when he had his own comic book, they didn't really know how to do it. It's really frustrating. I have the novel, the graphic novel of War Machine's comics right over there in that bookshelf, and it's like, the writing of it was garbage. That's another point I was going to make. Usually when these, I don't know too much about the inner workings of the comic book industry, but I do know that usually when they have like a new writer or a poo butt writer, a third card, a D-level writer, they're going to throw them at books like War Machine or Luke Cage and stuff like that. They're not going to throw these guys at X-Men or Avengers or like the Spider-Man. No, you're not gonna write for Spider-Man, dude. You're gonna be writing for this cast right here because you garbage, you whack. So
Yeah,
we suffer greatly
yeah,
that.
I feel like now it's the time. I mean, there have been attempts in the past to give characters of color. It's been few and far between. There have been little flickers. I just feel like now is the time where things can start really happening. Like timing is everything. Like I said, we got a great writer, Brian Michael Bendis, who's he's an X-Men writer and Spider-Man writer, he was mainly writing for Miles Morales, the character he created, which is essentially the Black Spider-Man. But like what Jerome would definitely remember, J-Rob would definitely remember. There was years ago there was an attempt at a group of collected heroes known as the Crew.
Yeah,
and they were, because I don't recall, but War Machine was in it. As he was as Jim Rhodes, he was in it. I don't know if they was going to bring in Luke Cage later, but they had a lot of the minority characters in it. And there's a character named Casper Cole, who was like attached to Black Panther, who was in it. I mean, like, I feel like if they did it now, and if they did a show like that based on like the way they wrote the Luke Cage show, it would be amazing. Like it would be amazing. But I just feel like that at the time it just wasn't, people weren't ready for it or whatever. And now people are, now I don't know, now it's more socially acceptable to, I guess, be in the geek culture and stuff like that. So more and more people are kind of like access to this kind of stuff. So I don't know.
Rob, what's your take on that?
So that you're right. 2016, with everything happening with being socially conscious now, so more than ever. So now would actually be the time for writers to start bringing minority heroes in the forefront, like the Crew. That was a great concept, and as far as bringing team together, like you said, bringing War Machine into the picture, which unfortunately, which they can still do because he's not exactly dead in the Marvel view, as far as the movie's concerned. I mean, I agree. It could really work. The thing about minority heroes is a lot of people are afraid when they step out of the stereotype, because I know this is branching onto another subject, but one thing that I see was a lot of people saying about the Luke Cage show was that he was too stoic and he was too, how do you say, proper, and he wasn't the funk, Chuck and Jive funk man that he was back in the 70s. And as boisterous. You know what I mean? And I was like, that's good, because
right.
We need more. I mean, we need more serious, black superheroes. He doesn't need to be a stereotype.
Nah. With that being said, one must also realize that there was white folks writing his stuff back then. So Luke Cage, essentially, like when you read his words, they're from a white dude. So technically, it was like a white dude was speaking for Luke Cage. So of course, it's almost like blackface in itself. Of course, they don't really understand what it means to be black, whatever else. So they're going to over exaggerate.
Right. And plus, this actually, you saying that you reminded me of something. I remember when I was working at one of my old jobs. This person asked me, and she was an Asian girl, and she just asked me in passing, because we had started to get pretty close friends. But she was just inquiring. She's like, do black people be saying like "nigga, please" and stuff like that, and stuff like that? I mean, because you just don't know. Like, you don't really know the language, and you see it in little movies and here and there. Sometimes white people write it. Sometimes black people write the stuff, and it's just, people just don't really know how people really talk sometimes. And that did a good job of showing how people really talk. Like, the N-word was used, it wasn't overly used, but I also felt like, as proper as Luke was, he didn't seem out of place. He was just a
Nah,
black dude. No,
no, he
he knew how.
feels like me. Feels like
Yeah,
yeah,
he knew how to talk. He knew how to talk long. But he knew how to talk to
right.
that old man on the corner street. You know, he just was proper. Like there are a lot more black people like that than not.
Oh yeah, but then folks understand because when I go back home, I'm in Arizona right now, and for those who have not been following my show, I'm from Washington D.C. When I go back home, and I talk to folks, the common folks that's on the streets out there, folks who live there, who are either stuck either by choice or whatever it may be. They're there, right? They're part of the DC environment. I talk to them as I am. I don't switch up code. I don't do that. I actually kind of refuse. So with that being said, one might wonder, is that dangerous? Is that dangerous being an intelligent or worldly black dude walking back into the hood and you're talking to folks about social political stuff or stuff that folks might deem over their heads, might piss people off? Nah, they respect me as is. I'm 35 years old. They see me as a career man. They see me as a professional of some sort. So they don't really expect me to sound literally like a hood dude. They can see my demeanor, I guess, like how I feel myself and flow. They can see that I'm from DC, but I sound as I sound. There's this. With that being said, there's this stereotype. Not I don't want to say stereotype, but there's this idea that being an intelligent black man is not exactly well accepted in the hood, and that's totally false. It's totally false. So let's kill that one right here. For Luke Cage and everyone else out there, being an intelligent black dude, a career dude, whatever, a professional black man, woman, whatever it may be, you're totally accepted in the hood. No one actually questions, as an adult especially, no one ever really questions your hood card or get upset, get frustrated because you sound different than everyone else. They don't do that. So it's totally possible. It is realistic that Luke Cage exists as is in Harlem as the intelligent, educated black man. When he was in prison, they kind of like lampshaded that. They had the prison psychologist. She's looking at him, digging him, and stuff like that. It's like he's a whole lot different than these other guys up in here.
Right.
Well, that's true. There's folks that are like that for real. There's people in prison right now for real that is like that. They're different than all the other prisoners up in there. And it's understood. It is understood and it's accepted.
Yeah.
Yeah, I feel in the silence. I'm drinking here.
No, I'm just, it's good dialogue. I'm just, I'm kind of blown away.
Yeah, man, it really blows me how folks really do think that. And in my profession as is, there's folks who kind of hold on to their hood stuff, so they all like this, like that, and it's like you really don't. And they're like, oh man, you lost your hood card, because it's like, okay, where you're from? You're from Dothan, Alabama. You're from Atlanta. You're from these other places, but you're not from DC though. So you're not from where I'm from. So how can you say that I lost my hood card? You're not even from my hood. So it's like Luke Cage. I'm not from Harlem, but Luke Cage can totally exist as is. There's people like that are a little more reticent, for deep in thought, that exist.
Right, and it's crazy. It's crazy to me how some people found that boring. They found that not Luke Cage.
Once again, it's the first season. When I first got into 24, I watched season 2. That's when I first got into 24. The Jack Bauer Power Hour. Which don't really feel the same after Obama got elected, and the Bush era was over with. When Obama got elected, Jack Bauer just kind of dwindled away.
My first black president is David Palmer. I don't know what you're talking about.
David Palmer, exactly. The first black hero since we're talking about. Yeah. So it's like sometimes the first season might not exactly be the best season because they didn't grow the beard yet. And I noticed this with multiple shows. The Unit with my homeboy David Palmer, who is also Dennis Haysbert, who plays David Palmer off of
24.
24. He plays Sergeant Major Jonas Blaine for the Unit, and he's another black hero. Speaking of black heroes, let's transition to some of these other cats out there. A while back ago, for those who have missed out on Okami's stuff, you have Meteor Man. Meteor Man took place in 1993. Hey, Okami, you fill in the blanks for that one right there. Meteor Man.
I mean, it was comedy, but it was that and Blank Man. I mean, they were awesome. There was a meme out there that made a joke of, okay, y'all basically forgot about me. I'm Meteor Man. Although technically Luke Cage was created first. He wasn't on TV at the time. But shout out to Robert Townsend for always trying to do stuff like that. That's probably why you haven't seen him in a lot of stuff, because he won't put himself in any garbage. He's always done stuff for the black community.
Yeah, I mean, 5 Heartbeats. Oh God, but Meteor Man.
Even with his sitcom and Parenthood, it touched on a lot of those issues and stuff like that. So
yeah,
within black community, even they had an episode I think about using the N-word one time. So I mean, shout out to Robert Townsend. The only problem I had with Meteor Man at the end, and I'm still mad about that he lost his powers at the end. Like, I hated that.
Yeah.
I hated that as a child, and I hated that.
Oh yeah, a shout out for Bird from the Midnight Falcons. He was the villain off of Meteor Man and stuff.
I will be God on this planet.
I don't know what his I think his name is Roy something. Roy Fagan or something like that. I forgot his name, but he'll always be Bird from the Midnight Falcons, because in the 5 Heartbeats, that's who he was too.
It's funny because Don Cheadle was in that movie too.
Yes, he was. He was one of the villains in that movie. He's the right hand man to Bird and Midnight Falcons.
They had a lot of black people in that movie. A lot of stars.
James Earl Jones.
Yeah,
That was like all-star cast.
Bill Cosby, Marla Gibbs is in it. Luther Vandross.
Vandross, right.
You had homegirl off of 227 up in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ma Dukes from 227.
Yeah, that's Marla Gibbs. She was in there.
Yeah.
They had a lot of people in there. They had what's his name? What's the comedian's name? Can't think of his name.
Eddie Griffin?
Yeah, Eddie Griffin. Eddie Griffin was in that.
Yeah.
So,
as his very flawed homeboy.
I'm sorry. Sorry, Jeff. I'm sorry. Yeah. I would love to see a Blank Man too, like starring like Damon Wayans Jr. or something like that, because he's just as funny as his father is. He's almost like the same person. So,
the more I think about it, with all these remakes going on, do you think that Meteor Man or Blank Man can be remade?
I don't know about Meteor Man, but I don't think we talking about remade? Yeah, they can be remade. I don't know if Meteor Man be remade and be as good. I know Blank Man could definitely have a sequel. Like, I know that could definitely have a sequel. I'm surprised they never did it. I mean, especially during the superhero boom that's going on right now. It's like, that's easy money. Like, come on, man.
My homeboy was David Allen Greer. He's always that side dude.
Right.
He's called the other guy in the movie Blank Man and stuff. He was far more competent and everything else than Blank Man. That
was his older brother. That was his older brother too. In the movie, they played it.
David Allen
the
Greer.
funny thing is his son, Damon's son, who is an actor now. He was in the movie. He played a young version of him in the beginning of the movie. So that's pretty cool. Yeah.
So a lot of members look alike.
Yeah, they look like twins.
Yeah. J. Rob pointed out that, he said something about War Machine earlier. Marvel Comics decided to kill off War Machine for pretty much a plot device. And this happened a couple of months ago this year.
Yeah.
For a Civil War, it's like a Civil War II Marvel Comics. I'll let Jay, dive into the specifics on that. But
okay, you mean
I was specific. I was quite distraught. I was quite distraught off that shit, man. That was my guy. That was my guy.
You mean the crappy Civil War sequel? Because that's what I call it. It's ridiculous. Marvel, they're going this whole diverse route, which I respect, but they're using iconic characters to make a point. Due to the fact of all the blacks killings and being killed by police and Black Lives Matter and things like that. They made War Machine out to be a martyr, right? To show you that, Black Lives Matter. You know what I'm saying? But why kill off man?
Hey, I ain't gonna show my face on this shit, man. I'm pissed. I'm hurt. I remember when because I haven't been really truly following comics like flat out. I'm 35 years old. I got other shit to do like podcasts and stuff. but when that occurred to me, Jay threw it at me. I learned about it when Jay threw me the details. J. Rock threw me the details. I was so hurt and distraught because that was my dude. It's like these folks make these comic book heroes, and they have no idea the power they hold in their hands. When you make these heroes, what is that noise? What is that noise?
Sounds like
wrestling and stuff, man. You're putting it into the mic. All right. Okay, back to the script. When these cats make these heroes and stuff, man, they don't understand that they have significance. People follow these heroes. People pay attention to the fine details. People may even decide life decisions of these heroes and stuff. For those who have not been following the show, I'm a man of military experience because of characters like War Machine. And now it's like a trope, actually, the military superhero. Got John Stewart, one of the Black Green Lantern, and all these other cats. But real talk, it's like that's a real thing to us because first and foremost, the military was one of the first integrated institutions of power, of that empowers folks to know knowledge of weapon systems and leadership in warfare. So, the military is pretty beastie, man. Shit. So the military superheroes happen first.
The military trains to be great.
You say what?
I said the military trains you to be great.
Yeah, they train you to lead. It was a scene in Iron Man 3 where it's like the third chapter in the movie, and you have Don Cheadle, who's War Machine, who's the best War Machine because Don Cheadle is my boy, but he's like, your gun. He said something like, "Is your gun up?" or something like that, and then Tony Stark just put his gun up after he mentioned it. It's like he knows how to engage situations without his armor, as is like the military superhero. He knows how to function or save the day without his superpower, so to speak. Same thing with John Stewart, who is with comic hindsight, he's named after a freaking shares the name of a very prominent social political comedian. But the black dude John Stewart is also the same way. He's a military dude. I think he was a Marine, actually. And he's mad beastie, man. And for them to kill off my dude of Marvel Comics, I'm not a DC dude. I'm a Marvel Comics guy. Marvel Comics fanboy. For them to kill off War Machine in the most brutal way, it was like this gigantic fuck you in my face. It's like, fuck you, Johnny. And I just want to give them a middle finger right back because we can't, these characters are not just plot devices for white folks. They're not. Black characters are not just plot devices for white folks. And white people really cannot get that out of their heads. As a matter of fact, they're so stuck on that concept that there's a huge amount of white butthurt on the fact that the Luke Cage show exists as is. And let's talk about a little bit about that. So what's y'all take on that one right there?
Oh boy, you know what I'm about to say, right?
Nah, what you about to say?
Where was all this back? There was no backlash when we Daredevil, right? Where was the hate for Daredevil being whitewashed? Where was the black characters in Daredevil? You know?
That's true. I don't think Daredevil even has like a lot of black characters and stuff like that. And one of the things I want to talk about is white defaultness. Afro Sapio Foul Plug. I'm sorry. It's Johnny, the vicious abolitionist you're dealing with. Think about this here. Anyway, white defaultness is the thing. It's a concept I've coined, being that how white people think of themselves first and only, as if like it's like, okay, if you're a writer, or you're a white writer, right, for a comic book industry, and you're like thinking of someone like Spider-Man. Okay, this guy's gonna be a nerd. He's gonna have these spider powers. He's awkward with girls and stuff like that. We want to make him relatable to the people out there who are nerd geeks, and folks who buy our comics. So they're not going to think to make him white. They're just going to make him white because of white defaultness. Now, when a black character is made, it is specifically stated so that this person is black. This proves true with any minority character, to include female. When they thought of Jean Grey, they're like, "Oh, this is going to be a female here." They didn't just automatically just make her fucking female. It's like they planned that out. So, for a lot of these white characters out there, or characters that look white, like say Superman, who is an alien from another planet, which it makes more sense, being that he absorbs his power from the sun. It makes more sense for him to be black, and that's been scientifically proven, at least scientifically theorized. There's white defaultness that we deal with there. That's another thing out there, and it's like, hey, white dudes, you guys are not the only folks on this planet. As a matter of fact, hey, Gary, what you got on that? Because my shit is like pretty fierce on that.
What do you mean?
The white response to Luke Cage.
Oh man, I mean, it's hard. It's hard to say. I mean, I remember when I was talking to a friend of mine, and she's black, and she was telling me she was having a conversation with a coworker. This is when that show, not Empire, but what's the other show? Scandal came out. I don't watch Scandal, but I know about it.
Yeah, I watch it.
And the lead is a black woman. She was like, I think her
Kerry Washington.
Kerry Washington. Kerry Washington. Her coworker had asked her, had said in kind of passing, she said, I just don't understand why they felt that they had to make her character black. And it was just kind of like, they didn't, but they just did. Like why even complain about it? Because when you're not used to seeing yourself on TV, when you're used to seeing yourself all the time and you don't see yourself on TV, it's weird to you. When you're always on TV as a white person, you always see people with main characters the color of your skin. If you don't, it's just weird to you. You don't understand it. You have to question it.
But the thing is, though, is that it's not weird to them when they see like a Bruce Lee flick. They're not sitting there asking themselves, how come, where's the white dude in a Bruce Lee flick? Or where's the white dude in a Hong Kong cinema, Jackie Chan, Jet Li joint? But when it's centered around blackness or black people, they want to like ask these questions and shit like that. And it's not really asking questions. It is a white privilege flex.
Well, not necessarily, because they have that new, I don't know if you've seen it, they have a trailer for like this new movie based on Bruce Lee coming out. And it's basically from the perspective of a white guy. Like one of his quote unquote students or whatever. But it's not even supposed to be
help them well.
It doesn't. It's not even supposed to be about this white guy. It's supposed to be about Bruce, but they're like showing it from this white dude's perspective, and it's just weird. It doesn't make any sense. And I think, and think about like even with like Jet Li movies and stuff like that, the ones that are over here, the ones that not imported, in dub. I'm talking about the ones he made.
Hollywood,
And in
Hollywood
Hollywood,
movies,
the
yeah.
ones he made in Hollywood, they're all surrounded by white people. Like either his wife is white or something like that, or he's fighting white people. So
Well, fighting white people might be the thing though, because they got a lot of villains that is unspoken of. But yeah, though, like when someone sees someone like Bruce Lee, Game of Death, Enter the Dragon, whatever else, no one's sitting there is like, man, where's white folks at? You see one Luke Cage TV show, and folks want to be like, what's white cats? And it's like, well, Scarf was white. He's one of the gray area characters up in there. Not trying to spoil stuff. He's one of the gray area characters of the TV show. You have my homeboy who plays a brilliant character named Shades. He's actually Italian, and he plays a Puerto Rican character, but he's actually an Italian dude. So there's another white dude right there, depending on your proximity of whiteness, because Latin dudes can slide in and out of that.
That's not the first time he's played a Puerto Rican. So he played Juice in Sons of Anarchy. And I thought he was really Puerto Rican.
No, you said no. Okay, you say you played a character named Juice.
Yeah.
Because I'm like, if he was in Juice, I'm like, hold up, who?
He played a character named Juice in every season of Sons of Anarchy.
Okay, all right. He played in a unit as this rapist dude, and I was like, you're really weird. So I saw his face. I'm like, oh, this is a creepy looking ass dude here, and he's a damn good actor, man. His character
Shades was brilliant. I mean,
he's brilliant, yeah.
But my goodness, man, to see him live like that, to see his character fleshed out beyond a drawing and words in a bubble, I mean, my goodness.
Young Shades. Man, oh my God. He is too good. If anything, as far as wishes or wishful thinking, don't kill him. They can't kill him. He's too good. They can't kill him. There's folks that have not been killed and fucking on The Wire. So do the same thing. Lock the youngin' up in the future or whatnot, or something like that. But don't kill him. Don't make it so we can't see this guy operate again. Or at least if you were to do so, that it's categorically like stupid. So don't kill that youngin'. You wanna throw justice at him? Lock his ass up so we have the ability to perhaps maybe see his ass again. Because Shades is way too good. How about Homegirl, the black lady, Homegirl chick? She looked like that one actor, but that's not her. It's like another chick. Her name is Alfreda something else. I thought it was.
Oh, Alfre Woodard.
Yeah, because I thought that was Homegirl off of Civil War and the joint DC Comics and all the other good stuff. She has
Amanda Waller.
the infamous Black Mariah.
No. What's her name though? The actual actress, the black chick who's getting a whole lot of shine right now. Like a little bit older. She's a little bit older black chick getting a lot of shine. She started this movie with Jennifer Lopez called Lila and Eve or something like that. It's pretty beast. Damn good ass movie.
So it's not Alfre Woodard? You're not talking about Black Mariah?
Alfreda Woodard is actually Black Mariah. That's her, but when I first saw it, I thought it was the other character. I thought it was the other actress.
Okay.
And I'm going to search right now, so I need y'all to fill in the blanks while I search this on the internet here.
Yeah, let's talk about Misty Knight.
Ooh, she is fine as shit, and she's an amazing actress. And if you're listening, actress for Misty Knight, holler. The number for the show is 202-854-1996.
How'd you get a DC number out here?
Okay, I'll throw that plug in. On far as the internet thing goes on Google, there's a thing called Google Voices. You can establish a phone number for yourself on Google that folks can call in, and that is also the number that I entice and I suggest folks to call in when they're calling in on the show.
Okay.
So if you want to call in on the show, you're gonna call 202-854-1996, and maybe you can text or call. But if you call, I will feature your voice on the show. And I imagine that you're calling about in like a previous podcast, which is what happens the most, or you're calling about the website Afro Sapien File. So want to throw a little plug in early and how it exists. So,
okay, her name, the actress, is Simone Missick. And she's actually, if you actually go on YouTube and search Mike Coulter interview for The Breakfast Club, you'll see you'll hear him talk about how they found her, because she's actually an up and coming actress, very, very talented. There's not enough I can say about what she sets for the black female as far as in a role of being a police officer, something that you don't see every day. I mean, it's in shows, it's there, but just to be so prominent is just, I'm proud, okay? Proud to see it.
I really like her. And then, I like to give a big shout out to Luke Cage's flavor as far as black chicks, because he likes the black chicks I like. And there's a character in the TV show. I'm not trying to throw in spoilers, but it's a character in the TV show, on the show, that says something about, oh, you're the type that Luke Cage liked, that tight frame, frizzled hair. And I'm like, I like the tight frame, frizzled hair shit. That's totally me. That's totally me.
I mean, he eventually get with Jessica Jones, but I mean, he's already kind of got with her. But the actress who played Misty Knight, they asked her, are they interested? Is she interested in exploring the relationship between Misty and Danny Rand, which is Iron Fist, which is coming out? She says, of course, and which I think would be funny, because Danny and Luca are supposed to end up being kind of like best friends. So, in this case, in the original case, I don't think Luke slept with Misty, but.
Yeah, I thought Alfreda. I thought that was Viola Davis. That's the chick I was looking at.
Oh, okay, yeah.
When I first saw her, I was like, "Oh shit, they got Viola Davis in this show too." And she's like all over the place. So she was in Civil War with Captain America 3, and now she's so I'm like, Marvel's kind of fucking up, but not like, nah, it's a new ass character and shit. I did mix up Viola Davis and Alfreda. God bless, my fault, my bad.
Yeah, that kind of caught me too. I thought she was. I thought I was fooled.
Yeah, Alfre is amazing.
She is.
Looking at her internet database photo, that the monochrome shot of her with that frizzled hair and tight frame that I go for, and as the photographer nerd on this show, that is an amazing photograph. And now she a little 1952 from Tulsa, Oklahoma. I'll still dig them guts out. And that photo right there, I would. I don't care. You're like 3 years older than my mom. I'll tear them guts up. I don't care.
Give me a sec. I'll be right back.
All right. As I wish I can take the same break because I'm out of drink. But yeah, Alfre Wood. I thought that was Viola Davis, but nah, this Alfre Woodard, and she does an amazing job. They need to sincerely. They need to give her more work. And of course, Hollywood, Black Hollywood especially, we don't get a whole lot of shine. As a matter of fact, there's this one the black chick on the TV show. She shows up to Luke Cage. She points his finger in his face like, "Hey, you better give back. You need to find my daddy's ring again." Man, I hit her I said something on Twitter and about her character, and the actress hit me up on Twitter back, showing much love. I'm like, man, I wish she's a reoccurring character in Luke Cage because she's so fucking awesome.
She's awesome, and she's oh so fine.
Yeah, she's ever so fine. Ever so fine.
Um,
Man.
that was beautiful, man. You know what? She gave me a Foxy Brown vibe, man.
Yeah.
Ah, we gotta see more of these black women in these roles. You know, different black women there because there's more black actresses out there than uh what's that girl
Halle
that
Berry.
Holly Berry.
Gabriel Union and Kerry Washington.
You know, I
Kerry
mean,
Washington, she's scooping. I mean, God bless. Look, I support all these black actors and actresses out there, but Kerry Washington, baby girl, darling, Miss Washington, you were trying to scoop up these Scooby snacks, making a show, like being on a show that's built on, fuck some white president guy. Sucking some white president's dick. It's not it don't feel too good, I mean, I actually do like Scandal, and we'll talk about that show later on down the line, another hashtag Black Oscars episode. But I like Scandal, but for the most part, it's mad garbage on the fact that is so centered on a black chick. It's so instrumental that a black chick sucks a white man's dick to get by, and she's like a very powerful character on this TV show, but she's all over a white man's dick, So to find these other characters in this Luke Cage show that is not like not on this Scandal shit, it feels really good to see this stuff, man. God bless, man. It feels really good to see this type of thing going on.
yep.
Yeah. But speaking of which, let's talk about the fact that folks like looked into the character, the actor of Luke Cage and Mike Coulter, and they're like, there's a lot of black women who are deeply, and they are quite distraught on the fact that he has a white wife. What is y'all take on that, if I may ask?
Here's the thing. When you like I said before, I really looked at a interview that Mike Coulter recently had on YouTube, and
The Breakfast Club one?
yeah, the Breakfast Club, and
Yeah, I saw that one too.
he talked about that. He said that he doesn't look at a woman as far as based on her color. He looks at a woman based on her character. I mean, this white woman that's been behind Mike when he had nothing. I mean, dude was homeless. He was trying to get a job. He was in that program like in DC. It's called Project Empowerment, and he was in different like work study and things like that. And she was just behind him. She was motivating him, and he didn't really look at her color. He looked at her content of character, and I can respect that.
Or rather, she looked into his.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean? She
yeah.
looked into his.
If you see a picture, and it's so hilarious, man. A picture of Mike Coulter and his wife. I really should know her name, but she's also the talent relations for Netflix or whatever. So you can see how. But anyway, she looks up at Mike Coulter like he's the greatest man ever, And that's how your woman, regardless of whether she's black, white, Hispanic, that's how you should look up to your man. Like he's the greatest.
As the man provides such to look up to.
Exactly. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I had been on I think I was reading on one of my friend's Facebook posts. He had posted that how people are feeling bad about it. And a couple of girls, black girls, was like, I was so hurt that he was with a white woman. I'm like, why? I mean, because even if he was married to a black woman, it's like he ain't with you.
Yeah.
It's like they feel like by being with a black woman, they're somehow they're because she's black and they're black. It's like he's
validated.
Yeah, validated.
It's worse than that because sometimes, like with Kendrick Lamar, happened like last year or a couple of years back, whatnot. The girl's a light-skinned black chick. Dark-skinned black chicks get upset about that shit.
Yeah.
It's a problem in the black community. I mean, I can see why, so I can't really down it because from where we've come from to where we are now, It's a lot of self hate, and it's kind of a disease, but we're getting better at it though. We are.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's put it out there that just because the existence of self hate does not mean that everybody is self hating because they date or marry someone else who's not black. Number two,
Right.
another point would be just because someone who dates or marries someone who is not black doesn't mean that they don't date black folks. Let's allow them to, which a lot of these ignorant ass niggas would flat out do. And I don't use that word that much, but a lot of these ignorant niggas will fucking do. They'll flat out tell you that they don't date black women. So, with that being said, maybe what we should do is allow them to speak their piece or speak their violence, in this case. And before we judge them, we let them speak their fucking violence before we judge them. Because these ignorant motherfuckers will do that shit. They do that shit proudly. I know a lot of these cats, man. I document and critique this shit. There's this self-hatred. That's what it is. I critique it. So if that is the charge, let the man be found guilty by his own hand, by actual evidence. Because I've seen times where you talk to a white chick and all the ladies be like, "Oh, you don't like black women." It's like, no, I do like black women, but this is the chick I'm talking to. I mean everybody, and things don't work. I mean, I'm not married now, so I mean, obviously shit didn't work. So ladies who seen the white chick and whatnot, they be like, "Hey, you like, oh, you trying to talk to black chicks now, huh?" Yeah. I'm like, but it wasn't like that. I didn't like stop liking black women when I was talking to the white lady or the Asian lady, whatnot. I still love black women. I still support black women. And another thing about that, let's talk about the support. The support can come far from a distance. A while back ago, I was attacked being that I'm not married. It's really easy to pull that off. Well, he don't have a black girl. He don't support black women. He don't have a black woman. And it's like I can't help that I'm very picky who I select to marry, have children, and spend the rest of my time with. With that being said, I can only marry one woman. And with that being said, it is quite possible for a man to marry one black woman and shit on the rest. And when you question them on that shit, they like, but I'm married to a black girl, though. I see a whole lot of that. So let's be real, man. Just because you marry one black woman doesn't mean you support black women as a whole. One man, one versus women, many. The rest. So just because you marry a black chick doesn't mean you support black women. And these people will tell themselves. Their actions speak for themselves. Real talk. So for those black women that are a bit upset, I can understand being upset about it. I mean, some black men we're not, it's not the same level of butthurt. But when Halle Berry sucks a white man's dick and all those other shit, and Kerry Washington on Scandal, like showing on TV and those other shit, it kind of hurts the feelings. It kind of tugs at the heartstrings. But I would hope that I would wait until the person speaks on it or show themselves, because that is the proof. Their ideology concerning is the proof, not them just being with someone who's not black. That's my take on it. I heard a long ass inhale or exhale. So let's talk about the future to come, man. So looking back on Luke Cage, he's an amazing black superhero. That I wish we can get that from many other black superheroes. But he's a street hero, so it's easy to make a TV show off of him, because after The Wire came out, Marvel Comics figured out how to make their street heroes work. Daredevil, Luke Cage, just Jessica Jones. So the future to come with black heroes, Luke Cage, and the rest. What's your take on that?
it's on the rise, man. I mean, we are in an era where a lot of the characters that we've read in the past, like the War Machines, the Black Panthers, Luke Cage, um, the Icons, the what's the other guy's name? You remember that whole what was that comic book with a bunch of minority heroes that DC did? What
I didn't even know about that.
Gary knows what I'm talking about. But anyway, we now are in an era where we can now appreciate and we can see these characters on the big screen, and black people, white people, even Hispanics, we can look at these movies and TV shows and appreciate them. The core fans, the fans, not the racists. I'm talking about the fans. We appreciate it. And there's a lot of white people I know and that I talk to on the forums, and they love Luke Cage. They say it's one of the best Netflix shows. As you can see, it crashed Netflix. So this is just the beginning.
Broke Netflix, yeah.
Crashed the server. I mean, come on. This is only the beginning, and I'm excited. Right.
I think it's kind of like how folks see the black women. Like, one of the things that listen to and talk to a lot of black ladies. There's a lot of things that there's a lot of controversy that surrounds their hair. So, there's this Eurocentricity that is attached to having straight, long, stringy hair that black women do, and a lot of folks, especially white folks, they prefer the black women to have their natural hair. And this is from black women. I'm getting this from. I'm not making this up out of nowhere. Myself, I like the frizzled stuff, so the frizzy hair. So cornrow that shit, braid it, then take the braids out. That is, I will marry you. Anyway, there's this where's natural black people? So when it comes to the black man, people really do want to see the black man. So when they see someone like Luke Cage, it seems very natural, and there's this hunger for it, not just from black people, white people too. The same way, I remember I knew this one girl in Atlanta, beautiful dark skinned woman, beautiful name like Andrea. She was amazing. Wow. Anyway, shout out.
You was reminiscing for a second.
Yes, I sure enough was. Now, with homegirl, she told me that she worked in this 4-star restaurant, so you get a lot of people there. So you told me that when she had her stuff straightened out and looking long and stuff like that, and she's still mad fine doing that too. She was like, I'll get all the players and ballers and all this other stuff, but when I had the afro or the natural look, she'll get all the she was at her words, beautiful words, her words. I will get the 103,000s. I'll get the commons. That's what she said, and which also includes white dudes, shit like that. So even white, when you have a black woman who straightens her hair all the time, the black woman who has her hair natural will get more white dudes, than engaging in Eurocentric values. Yeah. I think the same thing applies to black men, where you have a black character like black man character like Luke Cage. Folks want to see the real black man. They don't want to see the tertiary character, the half-written character, the character that's attached to a white dude, whatever else, attached to authority, to white authority. I mean, unfortunately, War Machine and Black Falcon, they're attached to white authority in some which way, shape, or form. You can look at that as being that they're military characters, or look at it being that they're attached to their white best friend characters. Like, this guy is the black best friend of this. He's the black best friend of that. Luke Cage does not boast any such. He's Luke Cage. And I think that's a beautiful thing. And I think a lot of people looking at that. And with that being said, white folks, if you're listening to this, whiteness, as I state, if you're listening to this, you're gonna be really upset with the Black Panther movies coming out next year and whatnot. be mad upset about that. And it's deeply unfortunate that you can't grasp the fact that we exist as black people. We exist. You can't erase us. And yeah, Black Panther is happening. So what's your take on that?
I just feel like we're going in this evolution towards. We're still gonna have opposition, but we're having this. We just basically getting ready. We're getting ready for for us to be on TV more, us be in roles that and in positions where we should be. As just as American as the white people, integrating this country. If there's a movie, we shouldn't worry about what we're expecting to see as white or black. We get good representation at this point. We have a king coming, and his name is T'Challa. So.
Yeah. Jay, what's your thoughts?
Imagine that, a black king, man. I'm blown away. And, when I have children one day, they're going to see that. And they're going to be proud, that a piece of their heritage is shown on big screen.
Yeah, we
in a fiction man,
right.
So, yeah.
Yeah. Homegirl, her name is Simone Messick. That's the cop chick off of Luke Cage. And Missy Knight, yeah, Simone Messick. If you're listening to this show, please hit me up because, if you're lonely, hit me up. Karen Pittman, she's the black woman, the lovely black woman who is her boss, who looks strangely like her twin on the TV show. She looks like her twin sister on the TV show. But Karen Pittman is her boss, and a big shout out to you, Sonia Sohn. She's the bigger cop boss. Who's off? You might recognize her face off The Wire. She's on Luke Cage too, and bless her heart as well. And then my homegirl Ninja in DeVoe. That's that one chick that was like pointing her finger in Luke Cage's face, like, "Get my daddy's ring back." Ninja in DeVoe. Like we talked a little bit on Twitter. I'd like to give a shout out. This episode is dedicated to you, Yula, and I hope that your little young fine self, you get more and more parts and roles. I hope that you're a reoccurring character on the Luke Cage show. And God bless. You have any last things to throw in concerning this TV show, this episode?
Okay, yeah. All my people and all people of the United States of America, all of the world, please check out Luke Cage on Netflix. It's a beautiful show. Do not discard it. And I'm excited for Iron Fist picture next year. I'm geeking out right now. This to me is an amazing year. 2016 into 2017, the Defenders. I mean, Heroes for Hire. Man, what they need to do is they need to do a Heroes for Hire Netflix show. That has to be. I mean, it could come after Defenders. Maybe Luke Cage and Iron Fist need some money or something.
Yeah.
Do the superhero thing, but it needs to happen.
Yeah.
Also, Luke Cage issue number 1 came out this week, or should I say week past? Go out and cop it. Luke Cage number 1. He's coming back.
It came out. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. I'm picking it up tomorrow, though. I'm gonna get it.
Okay.
I'm gonna get 2. Get 1 for you.
Okay.
And
All right, bet. That's
Nice.
2. I'll pick you one up for you too, man.
All right. So, Okami, what you got?
I'm just going to piggyback off of what J. Rob says. You should check out Luke Cage. I think anybody who's a comic aficionado should go back and look for. I think it was Black Panther Volume 3, issue number 50. Look up Casper Cole. Look at his story. It's pretty interesting. It's a good read. It's not very. It's kind of in the vein of Luke Cage, where it's very ingrained in like an urban. It's a really good procedural kind of cop thing with the vigilante twist on it, but it's from like an urban standpoint. You know, a young black kid. Well, he's mixed. His name's they call him Casper Cole. His name is Kevin Cole. They call him Casper because his skin's so white. You know, that's a hood thing. You know,
yeah,
little nickname
white
he got.
man.
So
Yeah.
I think people should check that out. The Luke Cage comic book #1 that's coming out. It's not the Marvel Max one. One that J. Rob was talking about. It's based off of it's the art style. If anyone who knows anything about Samurai Jack, it's from the creator of that. So it has that cartoony style to it. So it's gonna be real interesting and really good read. So I think people should check that out. Yeah, man. Like keep checking out Michael Jockey, checking out movies. Check them drinks out. So apparently he's doing another what's the movie called? Never Back Down. I think he's doing another one. So check that out.
Always making.
Yeah, he's always making movies. I respect him, and he stays in good shape, and he's putting out action movies, and you know, and I think a lot of times, I mean, B movies don't necessarily mean bad movies. They're just they just don't have a high budget. So I think you should check those out too.
Exactly. I feel you on that.
Yeah.
We need to talk about we need to talk about these action flicks. As a matter of fact, maybe that'll be the next episode. We'll talk about these martial arts action flicks.
Yeah.
90s and beyond. We're gonna get that one in. Nice. Good one, Okami. All right, so like before I end this, I'll say a big shout out to Kazi, Ian Kazi. He was not here for this show, but he's a part of it. So much love to him. So it's about that time. Thanks for joining us. Before you leave, if you like what you heard, click the like and subscribe to us on iTunes or SoundCloud or wherever you go for your podcast. Do not let this be the last time we hear from you or you hear from us. Follow us on Facebook and Afrosapiophile. If you want to be heard, you can always leave a voice message at 202-854-1996. 202-854-1996. Last but not least, be sure to check us out at AfroSapiophile.com for everything Afrosapiophile. This is Johnny Silvercloud, the soul brother #1 of a kind, signing out. Peace.